We're getting to that time of year. We're almost to summer, which means we're going to start doing some serious scouting, especially as we get closer to late summer. One thing that you should really keep in mind anytime you're scouting is make sure that you're following all the regulations. And one of the things that people have been kind of not paying attention to is the use of deer urine. Deer urine is still a very viable tool for scouting and hunting, but what we need to keep in mind now is there are rules throughout different states that have been regulating the use of natural deer urine for mock scrapes, for hunting, and things like that. Most of the states fall into three categories. The first one is some states have all-out bans on the use of natural deer urines. In my opinion, that is not the way to go because we know that science has proven it differently, but you can't ignore the laws. So you got to make sure that if you're in one of those states, don't be using natural-based deer urine scents for your scouting purposes or your hunting purposes. Then there are states that don't allow urine only in areas that have CWD. Now those areas in those states are identified. So they might say X county or Y county, you can't use natural-based scent. You can use other scents, you can use synthetics, but you can't use the real thing. So that's the second category. And the third category are states that say you can only use scents that are approved under the Deer Protection Program. The Deer Protection Program, if you don't know about it, go on to deeranddeerhunting.com or just Google it. You're gonna find out that there is a consortium of people within the hunting industry that have helped form this organization to keep deer safe, to keep hunting going, and to make sure, above all, that hunters are doing their part to make sure that CWD isn't spread. The Deer Protection Program was developed by the Archery Trade Association in conjunction with scent manufacturers. And what that is they are going in and making sure that all the protocols are followed by these manufacturers, that this deer scent that is being collected and distributed is not only safe, but it's effective for use. The Deer Protection Program was developed in 2016, so we're going on its 5th year. More recently, manufacturers have taken that up and they've put the bar even higher. And if you look at the premium deer lures out there, there's a stamp on there and it's called RT Quick Tested. If you see that on a label, that means that herd, that urine that you bought has been tested and has been designated as free of any CWD prions. That is very big and very huge. The scent manufacturers are serious about this. So if you go out in the store and you're buying either pure urine, urine-based scent, if you see the Deer Protection Program logo or an RT Quick Test stamp on that bottle, you're going to know for sure that is 100% safe. The other thing that I would like to add to this is you should be lobbying your legislators and your local representatives to really understand the science behind deer urine and CWD. Deer urine is the least vector for CWD when you look at transmission among whitetails. It's one of the lowest possible things that could transmit CWD. One study showed that it would take 33,000 gallons of infected urine, so wrap your head around that, to affect 1 gram of brain protein in a whitetail. It's absolutely ridiculous, but again, I'm not going to fight about that. As hunters and responsible sportsmen and women, it's our job to educate the public, educate our elected officials, and also adhere to our own standards in the fact that we take it serious and we're going to ensure that we're only using the best stuff out there and stuff that has been proven free from CWD. For more information on this and more, be sure to check out our website at deeranddeerhunting.com or Google Deer Protection Program under the Archery Trade Association.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about Crossbows today. You know, Crossbows with Carbon Express, we've been in that business well over a decade. And when Fair9 purchased Carbon Express in 2017, we really got deep into Crossbows, understanding everything from the production side of things, safety, how they operate, and actually how to make them better. There's been a lot of advancements in Crossbows in the last 5 years, and we still thought there was some room for improvement. And for us, it was really #1, safety. How can someone safely and simply decock a crossbow? The simple part is important because some of them are pretty complicated, and you have to have some dexterity and you have to remember what to do. So we decided, let's go as simple as possible. So with the Axe 405, we started out with a very quiet crank. It's a one-way crank. So when you do actually cock it and decock it, you don't hear it. And that's really important because it is a bit quieter than others out there. You will get actually a second shot. So if it's a clean miss and the animal doesn't know where you're from, it'll allow you to quietly crank it and get a second bolt in. The other thing to notice is I'm stopping. Now I'm going backwards. And I can let it go at any point in the stroke. So whether I'm cocking it or decocking it, number one, it's quiet, it's safe because I'm not holding tension or pressure on the arm like most of the other crossbows that are out there. The other thing we try to do is again, make things simple. So in terms of understanding, is my bolt carriage engaged? We did an audible 2-click system. And the reason for that is, again, most of the bolts, when you put them in the crossbow, it's up to the user to understand, am I seated or not, because there's no audible click. And typically they're an open knock, and so it's just resting against it, and you have to make sure that it's firmly resting against it. So with ours, because we are the designer and the maker of both the crossbow and the bolts, it was easy for us to incorporate that extra bit of safety so the consumer knows, yes, 2 clicks, I'm ready to cock and decock, and 1 click for the bolt to go in.
You'll hear it snap on the string. And now we're ready to go.
Now I'd like to talk about a couple of the fun features around the Axe 405. So number one is 405. What's that stand for? Well, it's 405 feet a second. Why is that important? There is no standard in the crossbow market for speed ratings. And what you'll find is if a lot of the crossbows that are out there that you buy, you have to buy additional boats or different bolts to get the speeds that are advertised. Ours, the 405, we test every single one in our facility in Wisconsin. If it doesn't shoot 405, it doesn't go out the door. So one final safety thing about the Axe 405 is the adjustable foot stirrup. So again, back to ease of use, slides out, that acts as a stirrup for your foot, or when you're in a tight space, could actually allow you to set it up on something hard to shoot from, and it keeps your bolt, when it's in there with the broadhead on it, away from anything to interfere with it. We at Faradyne are hunters and shooters. We have a big engineering team, and our goal is to make products better and safer for our consumers. And that's what we believe we've done here with the Axe 405. For more information, visit faradyne.com.